So why don't we get on down to the real commentary? The real commentary, Tyler. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. I know you all were not expecting to see me here with this, but yes, we're going to get down to the real commentary. This is my review for the final cast reunion for the haves and the have-nots. Listen, so the show is gone. The show is gone. You know, it's been this, with me, it's been a roller coaster ride. I came in to the show reviewing late. I had some disdain and I left out. And then I kept watching at a point. Then I kind of stopped watching. And then I came back for the finale, for the series finale. And I have to say, I'm happy. I am happy that Tyler and Oprah decided to do this reunion. Very happy. I thought it was very smart. I wouldn't miss the reunion for the world because I love all of the actors. All of the actors and the actresses, I'm like totally bought in. Where I had disdain for, I still love Tyler Perry. And I still love all of the actors on the show and who made the show. I just got irritated with the storylines. And this is the thing. I'm going to say this right from the door, just so you know how real my commentary is getting ready to be, because I'm getting ready to go there. I'm getting ready to go there. It's good. Some of it's good. I'm going to tell you the things that I really, really love, because I really enjoyed it. But there's things that need to be said that aren't being said. But just to show you how real my commentary is getting ready to be, let me tell you something. I stopped watching right at the last two seasons. Because we say seasons where it's actually like a couple of months. And there really is like one season, you know, he breaks it into two, sometimes three. It's weird how his seasons are. But over the last year, basically, I've not been watching the show. I stopped reviewing, but I was still watching. I literally stopped watching. And then I came back at the very, very end. I saw a clip when Veronica told David and Jeffrey, introduced him to his actual father. I came in for that clip. And then I seen that clip, and then I came in and I watched the last show, the complete finale altogether. But basically for the last year, I haven't watched the show. Okay? Maybe an episode or two. And then I just stopped. Cold turkey. I just wasn't watching. And let me say this. Maybe 6 months. Maybe it hasn't been a whole year. Maybe 6 months. There's like 2 segments of time where I wasn't watching. So I'm going to say that was probably about 6 months that I haven't watched it. But I'll say this. This is how real we're going to get. Throughout this show, there were clips, naturally. They went through each one of the characters. Each of the characters. And did basically their background story. And it showed clips in a montage from the beginning all the way to the end. Listen to me real close and come close. Come in close, my loves, and listen to what I got to say here. I watched this whole first 1 hour of this reunion. They did montages for each individual person. Each individual person. Candace, Hannah, Veronica, David, Catherine Cryer, Wyatt Cryer, That's all of them. Benny. All their montages. Tell me why not one clip that they showed was unfamiliar to me. Not one. So that means that the 6 months, and I'm thinking that's 6 months. That's 6 months that I didn't watch. I didn't miss anything. And obviously, all of what I said was true. Because I kept saying, he's not giving me anything. He's giving me nothing. None of this stuff means anything. None of this is adding to what I fell in love with the show about. And the proof is right there in the pudding. Because none of those clips, not one clip, not one, from all the time that I wasn't watching, appeared in that reunion. None of those clips appeared in any of those characters' montages, which means that all while I was watching was stuff that wasn't necessary, was some bullshit, because it didn't even make the cut. That's why when I watched the finale, I wasn't lost. I wasn't lost at all. The only thing that I said was, oh, Benny got a baby. Okay. And they had just found out the episode before. So at the time when I wasn't watching the show, I was completely correct. It wasn't nothing but fluff. It was all fluff. None of it was necessary. None of it was adding to anything. And that's where I got irritated with the show. And I kind of just stopped watching. And then, like I said, when it got juicy, which was the ending, I came back for the very end. And the very end, but I've seen it. Now this right here, this reunion, I'm loving this. And I have to say, the reunion, this one part of the reunion that I've watched that I'm getting ready to review for you all, I enjoyed this 1 hour. This 1 hour of this reunion more than I enjoyed the last 3 seasons. Now let's get on down to the real commentary. Okay, so let's go. Listen, let's start with the fashions. So I've seen them basically in a reunion setting before. So I know what the atmosphere is going to be. I knew it was going to be an atmosphere of love and good feelings. So I knew that. Love us coming out of the pandemic and there's actually a live audience. I love that. You know, we haven't been seeing that. So I was completely excited about all of this. And they came out and they walked out the very Oprah Winfrey style. You know, because that's kind of how she does her thing. First off, let's just say one person who is really getting down over there making a coin over at OWN and over at the Tyler Perry Studios is Egypt. Egypt Sherrod, with her beautiful self. Egypt does such a good job doing these things. Hosting reunions is really her gig. She does a fantastic job because I just watched her do, I watched the season 1 reunion of Huntsville, that Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she was just spectacular in handling that type of a, because everybody can't do a reunion of a reality show. It takes a special person to be able to really manhandle that, and she did a fantastic job. And then to see her here, I was happy to see her because I love Egypt anyway. I followed her to Sister Circle and all these different things. She used to be on Sister Circle all the time, but she did a fantastic job. But how clean was Egypt with this? It was a floral print Georgette maxi dress, and it had like a very high slit in the front, real dramatic, but you really couldn't see it too much unless she really like moved around because they had a lot of fabric and a lot of flow, and it was just so feminine and so gorgeous that it just looked so good on her, and her hair was pulled up. She had a whole, her hair up in the ponytails, up in the updo, a very formal, everything clean as a whistle, with this whole plum colored, exaggerated Valentino belt. I said, girl, stop playing with these people. Stop playing with these people, Miss Egypt. And enough bust out. Baby, she had a decollete. Oh, honey, that was slaying the girls. Clean. Perfect for a host. She looked the part. She really did. She looked gorgeous. Let's go over here. Child, Wyatt looked like Wyatt. Jeffrey looked like Jeffrey. Now, I will say this. Gavin's upper body, baby, you don't want none of it. That boy's upper body is, child, okay. Yeah. And he's gorgeous. I've always said that. That Jeffrey and his daddy, gorgeous. And, child, you know, David was David. He looked like David. He's dressed up like David. Nah, let me take that back. No, I'm going to take that back. He wasn't as clean as David usually be. He just had on just old suit. He just kind of looked like he was going to a job interview. Because David would be clean on the show. So he looked all right. What's his name? Peter Purves. He looked nice. Nothing special. Tyler Lepley, with his old fine ass, clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle with this whole brocade jacket. And it was real subtle. The brocade was real subtle. Clean as a whistle. Do you hear me? Clean. Tika Sumter. Just built. Candace was Candace. She looked gorgeous in this red. She was completely in red with her back completely out. And I was wondering, it looks to me like a jumpsuit, but it could have actually been a bodysuit and a pair of pants, because it definitely had the waistline actually was defined, but it could have been one piece. But she's so built to the point where it wasn't rippling, it wasn't buckling nowhere. It was just like painted on her, flawless, gorgeous. Back out, it had this new thing with the elbows out, and then she had the sleeve covered her hand where her thumbs entwined, which we seen the same look on Jackie Walters, Dr. Jackie Walters. She had the same look on the reunion for Married to Medicine, but Jackie's, it wasn't a perfect fit like Tika's. Tika's was fitting to where it wasn't too much fabric. Jackie's had a little bit of cumbersome fabric around the hands. It was a little too much fabric around the hands. Tika's was just perfect. It was a perfect fit. Perfect fit. She was a vision in this red. Looked gorgeous. Makeup gorgeous. Now that hair, I could do without that hair. That hair was very Candace. She just had like plaits. And that's something that Candace would have pulled off. And it didn't look bad, but I just was kind of like, okay. It was very Candace. You know, Candace would go through things. Sometimes she'd be glamorous. Sometimes she'd be, you know, a little hood with it, and that's what it gave. It was a really sharp outfit, and her hair got a little hood with it. So I was like, all right, we'll take it because this is a Candace situation. We'll take it. But if she had a better hairstyle, she could have walked the red carpet in her outfit. Cute shoe, real cute shoe. Different hairstyle, she could have walked the red carpet. Her hair was okay for this because it was Candace. So it was fine. She was looking in character. Let's see. Catherine, baby, Miss Renee Lawless was clean down with this black two-piece outfit with the pants with the slits in them, high slits up the front, and it had some rhinestone decoration to it, and she was clean. Very southern, very southern. Her hair was a side sweep, and it was boofed up, honey, and all teased to the back. I said, she looked just like Catherine Cryer. She was clean, but she was Catherine. I was like, okay, cool. Veronica pulled a Veronica. Angela, her real name was Angela. Angela Robinson. She pulled a Veronica, okay? She looked okay. I'll say that. She looked okay. It was a black suit. Naturally, she's built really nice. Looks fabulous for her age. So, she looked good. But then it had Veronica would go to the left sometimes. She would have some stuff and be real sharp, and then she'd throw a little spice on it. So this had a little vanity spice to it. I said, girl. I said, okay. I looked at it, at the whole picture of it. It was a Veronica suit. Then she had these gloves, lace gloves, and then it was a vest with a bare chest, and then she just had a tie on, which was really schwanky. But it was giving me that's right, pleased to meet you. I still want to tell you my name. It was giving very that. The hair, I'm going to say, I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to let it slide because it was giving me a very natural texture. So I loved what they did with a natural texture of hair. They did a hairstyle that you always see done where the hair is straightened out, bone straight, like an Asian woman or like a white woman, to do this bouffant. It had the little pump up and all of this, and it's pulled back with the hair hanging, but it's usually done in a bone straight. I'm going to give it to them because they did it, but they did it in a black girl, and an unapologetically black girl. It was truly a black wave pattern. It wasn't bone straightened out, so it gave you a very natural feel. So I'm going to say yes to the hair for that reason. Because it's always good to see natural black hair textures being worked with. As much as I live for, a good relaxer, child. I live for a good relaxer, baby, where your hair is so straight that it look like somebody been licking, like a cat been licking on your head, honey. I live for an old nasty piece of relaxer, but I also get excited over real hair textures of ours being worked in the hairstyles, because that's people act like they can't work our hair textures into hairstyles, and yes, you really, really can, and it can be done tastefully. It really can. And I had to kind of keep looking like, well, what did we do here? What are we doing? And I looked at it and I said, oh, we played with our real hair, with the real hair texture, and did this whole thing. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I thought that was a nice choice, and that was done. That was completely intentional, because it's a wig. It's a wig and extensions. That was done. That was very intentional, and I get it. I got it. I'm here for it. So I'm gonna let that go on through. Yep, I see it. I see what was going on there. Now y'all know I left one person out because she was the cleanest of everybody up there, and that was Crystal Fox. Crystal Fox rolled in that mother with this white short set tuxedo situation going on that was asymmetrical and went all the way down to her ankle on one side, and the jacket, real dramatic, had a real dramatic asymmetrical drop on the one side, and she literally had shorts. They were shorts with an old nasty piece of black sandal, strappy sandal on, and had the nerve to have the little white cane. I said, now, Miss Crystal Fox, clean. Clean, 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 clean. I loved what she had on. And I thought of all of them, her and Egypt, I thought were the two cleanest up there. I loved Egypt's outfit, and I loved Crystal Fox's outfit. Live, girl, live, because you're the only one that did live at the end. So get your life, Crystal. Get your life. John Schneider was not there. I don't know what happened with him, but he didn't show up at all. So Jim Cryer was not there. Okay, so let's get into this, because I haven't talked for a while, but that's all right. The show going off. We got all the time in the world. So let's talk. Let's just say that anytime that you get Oprah, because y'all know I love Oprah, anytime you get Oprah and she's going through and saying, I love this scene, I love that scene, that's always, I mean, that's got to make you feel good, okay? And they showed different scenes, and it was like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that, oh my God, oh my God. So it was all of these different types of things going on. Here's a few things that stuck out for me, okay? I laughed really hard when Angela said that she was literally crying, like they were all crying. They showed this picture of them wrapping the season. This was like my last full season that I watched, when David drowned her in the pool, and then she came back and she wasn't dead. She wasn't dead, and why I wasn't dead, that's when I got mad. And it was a couple seasons ago. About a season and a half or so. But anyway, when he drowned her, she didn't know after she did the scene that she wasn't really being killed off of the show. And they were saying how Tyler was like, why are y'all crying? What are y'all doing? And she's like, well, I'm dying. And she's figuring that she basically out of a job. And he's like, I'll tell you when to cry. That was really funny. And that was very Tyler. Yeah, he's messy. That was very Tyler Perry. Okay, so I just had kind of laughed at that. I thought that was really, really funny story. Let's talk about this. Wyatt. They talked about sex scenes, like the awkwardness of the sex scenes and different things like that. And it's weird because Crystal Fox has done so many movies and stuff. It was so weird to hear her say how she was like all giddy and silly and nervous about doing a sex scene. I'm like, girl, you done did so many movies. Who would have thought? And honey, that Renee Lawless was like, baby, listen, let me tell you about my little sex scenes, honey. She's like, when I was doing sex scenes, like when she did stuff with Jim, she's like, okay, get off of me, honey. She's like, see, it's like, we're like brother and sister, in real life. But she's like, but when she was remember when the season when she was having all this sex with the two little boys and, the two little guys that worked for her up at the hotel, she was like, she was getting her life. She said that I am single. She got the southern twang in her voice. Hilarious. I said, Renee Lawless, if you don't sit yourself down. Candace told us the story about her. You remember her and Justin are actually a couple. They are engaged to be married and all of that. They got a baby and everything. And she told about how they first met and how nervous he was. And how they used to steal kisses, and Tyler was the first one that clocked it, that them two had been seeing each other and called it right on out. So that was really cute. I thought that was cute. And then I'm getting through the good stuff. Like I said, Oprah's commentary was, that's always, child. I love it, love it, love it. Let's see. One thing that I did notice, as they're showing the clips, the have and the have-nots was very racy. It was very violent. It was very violent. Like when they just like sitting there for an hour and they're just like compiling all this stuff. Child, people being pushed out of windows, people being shot, people being stabbed. I said, when we sat and watched this, This show was violent as hell. Baby, they was busting up some people. Now, everybody wasn't dying, though. But they was getting balled up, okay? Balled up. Pushed out a window. Remember when the guy got pushed out the window? Candace pushed his behind out that window? Tore him out. But then, you know, baby, listen, when I was over here screaming, honey. Screaming. See, I don't hate the show. And I don't want anybody to feel like that. I loved the time that I spent with Have and Have Nots. I loved it. And that's why I left when I left. I didn't want to have bad feelings about the show. I left when I left because I was like, you're not going to kill all my memories. Listen, there's some stuff that happened throughout time of me doing reviews on Have and Have Nots that I'll never live down. Like when Erica got killed in the car. Child, my folks still scream at my review that I did when she got killed in that car, when Veronica blew her up in the car. And baby, she was in there like, child, anytime I go live and we're talking and we talk about that, everybody's cracking up again. So I've had times that I've like loved doing this show, and I was so hurt that those moments where they weren't coming. You know, the stuff was just off. It was off, and it was like, we're not getting our moments. And it was time for me to pull up. You know what I mean? But when they showed when Catherine Cryer killed the DA, she lit her up. Baby, Miss Jennifer Salazar, honey, pat, capped her. Point blank, capped her. And it was like, just like yesterday, honey, when they showed her go back, baby, and that chair flipped over, and them little cheap shoes shot up, honey, at the moon, and you can see them soles. I said, them soles is not leather, honey. Baby, what DA you know running around with plastic sole shoes? I said, oh, there you was, laying there bloody in the middle of the living room floor with your feet turned up, shoes just as cheap as you please. But I screamed. So I enjoyed watching this more than the last months of watching the show. This was good. It was good. But let's talk about this. Okay, so I don't know that this is a gripe, but it was weird. It was very weird to me. Definitely, Oprah had a lot to say about the whole relationship between Veronica and Jeffrey. Very groundbreaking stuff, because we didn't see that. You know, a black family dealing with how African Americans really feel about homosexuality and their children, and, you know, how Veronica just used to go in. Like, she would just go all in, and she would just say the worst shit. You know, she just would. I mean, but as black people, we know how those conversations can go. We know those conversations don't look like what you see on TV. They look just like the stuff that you see, Veronica. That's how being gay in the African American community, and you come on home and say, oh yes, I'm gay. That's the type of conversations. Some of that stuff Veronica be saying, all out of pocket. See, that's the reality of it. And he did a good job portraying that. And she was just too much sometimes. I said, oh, Miss Veronica, girl, you are trying it, honey. But that's the real. That's the real. That's a lot of what would draw us back. See, Angela did a good job playing Veronica, honey. She was something else. She really, really was. She's something else. And the stuff that she used to do, David. Oh, just, you talking about black woman scorn, honey. She used to carry on terrible, but she was starting to trouble most of the time. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But there was a situation where there was a fan in the audience and she wanted to talk, and it was a woman, and she was LGBTQIA, okay? And she was thanking them for portraying the whole scene of the coming out and how it was met with rejection, and saying how it helped her. That helped her so much. So they were like giving all this praise to Gavin for his portrayal of that scene. And it was so weird to me. It was very strange to me. And he came down from the couch and he hugged her and all of this. It was very weird to me, and I'm going to tell you why. You do realize Gavin's not gay. Gavin is straight. Gavin was actually, he's a straight actor playing a gay role. You got a real life gay situation going on. It just was so weird to me that they were like praising Gavin. I'm like, no, probably the praise would go to Tyler for writing and directing it. It was so weird to me. That just was weird. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I know you all will say it in the comments. It was weird to me. It was like, no, honey, he's not even, no. Do we really even know what his real position is? We don't know. I've never seen Gavin have a conversation on what his position is about homosexuality. So it was weird. It was weird to me. I just thought the praise would have went to Tyler and the director. That was weird to me. I don't know. It could just be me. And I'm sure y'all tell me in the comments. But that was weird to me. Very. So, and that's going to, let me transition on over to this little piece here while we at that. Because don't play in our face now. Don't play. But then Tyler does that a lot with this show. Plays right in our face. Because we got Wyatt, who's sitting there, and he's speaking about all the sex scenes. They talk about all of the sex scenes and all this stuff. And Tyler Lepley was talking about, how he basically would be nude. And he has like a little thing that he puts on, his little front area and all that. But basically he was really nude for the scenes and all that. And Wyatt was saying how, his name is Aaron, but he was saying, he said, I was working out and making sure get my body together and everything. I'm still waiting. I thought maybe I'd get a girlfriend. He's like, I'm seasons and seasons in. Nope. Never did get a love interest. Never did have a girlfriend. Didn't get none of these steamy hot love scenes. I said, no, wait a minute now. Hold on. Hold your horses. Because here's another situation where this is weird to me. Because who's telling you that you ain't had no sex in? First of all, he never had clothes on. Wyatt was always taking his clothes off. So that was that. So you didn't work out your body for no reason. And his body is fab. His body's fabulous. But you didn't work out for no reason. Okay? You were eye candy, boo. Ain't no thing. But you very much did have sex scenes, sweetheart. You did. They may not have been the sex scenes you were looking for. But I remember distinctly saying several times that Wyatt has had more penis in him than Fruit of the Looms. I remember saying that many times. Child, Wyatt was running around sucking folks off left and right, honey. Wyatt was having just as much sex as everybody else. Child, you was carrying on, baby. You would do a little this, a little that. Baby, you do a little something strange for a little piece of change or a little hit of coke. You sure did. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why are they playing in our face? You had plenty of sex scenes. They might not have been. You didn't get to have none with Tika. Shame on you. But anyway, so I just had to throw that out there. I was very weird to me. I was like, they playing in our face. Okay, now I've been talking for a while, and there's the second part to this. So next week I'm going to come back and do the part 2. But I think next week is going to be a whole bunch of crying and stuff because it's going to be really final next week. But anyway, let me talk about this last part. And this is where it's going to get ugly because I'm going to say some stuff here, okay? So they had this super fan, okay? There's a super fan. Super fan, her name is Yolanda. And we showcase Yolanda. Yolanda throws watching parties, like viewing parties, where they have little knickknacks and paddywhacks and all of this. And she's been doing this since the show first started coming on, okay? And that's very cute. That's very cute. Very, very cute. And he reached out. They did this Zoom meeting, and they surprised her with Tyler Lepley. Benny pops up on the screen, and she like, shocked her, and invites her to come to the reunion. So that was so cute. Very, very cute. And, she got to be there and got to hug him and bring a friend and all of that. Now, that's cute. That's cute. And she threw her little parties at her house, and her and her little friends would sit around and watch the show. But now I got a question. So if we're talking about super fans and bringing people out, why wasn't Ashley Miller there? Oh, yeah, I said it. Oh, yes, I said it. Because when I think super fan, it's Ashley Miller. Now, yes, Tyler Perry has reached out and has actually picked Ashley up and brought her to his house. She actually got to go to a party at his house, seeing the video of her talking about her experience. Fabulous. But if there's a super fan that's actually being brought out, I can't imagine why Ashley Miller was not. Because to my knowledge, Ashley's been reviewing this show ever since it's been on the air. She's never swayed. She's never not. She's never missed an episode. Not that I know of. Ashley Miller is truly a super fan of most things Tyler Perry. I have to say, I was bothered. And no, it's not that Ashley could get picked for everything. But seriously, every episode, bruh. Every episode. On time. On time. We know Ashley don't be late. Shit, most of us, we late. Might come, the review might be 2 days later. Ashley's reviews are always up right after the show. I was a little bothered by that when I saw that. And I just was like, you gotta be kidding me. But then I'm going to ask now, where is the real commentary? Is that what the problem was? Because Ashley does real commentary where she's always there and she's a big fan, but when the writing is not too hot, Ashley will say that the writing is not too hot. She's not nasty. You know what I mean? She's not nasty with it. Now, see, I drag. I ain't even looking for Tyler to come grab me up and take me nowhere. Because, I be giving him the blues. I love him to death. But I just say what I got to say. I be like, Tyler, now, that's some bullshit. And love him to death. But that's James. That's the way Spillitboy TV give it up. If the damn shit ain't right, I'm going to tell you the shit ain't right. If it ain't holding me, then I'm going to say it. But maybe the commentary got too real. Did it touch you in your spirit? What happened? What happened? Because truly, I was wondering where's the real commentary. Because yes, we got an audience full of people, but nobody had nothing to say about anything. Like everything was all roses and rose petals, and I'm like, this is some bullshit, and I know y'all know it. Because there's been many times when the fans, I know they be angry with Tyler when you be bringing people back to life and carrying on. I know, because I'm one of the fans, and I know how irritated that I am, and that comes along with it. Now, I'll give them this on Bravo. Now I'm coming for OWN. Here I go. On Bravo, when they do these reunions and they take questions and comments from the actual viewers, some are good, some are bad. All don't always be in favor of every decision that Andy makes. So I just was kind of shocked that there was nobody that said anything, you know, and I'm not expecting them to show anybody dragging, but everybody's so happy. That's a lie. That's a lie. It happens to all of us. Listen, I killed a character off in my third book, and my folks were pissed. Do you understand me? They were pissed. And I got so much flack about killing this character off till I was questioning myself, like, was that the right decision? Did I could have done that different? Yeah, I could have did it different, but that was the story I was telling, and I wouldn't take it back. I'm glad I did it because it made sure after 3 books in a series, I had to make sure I still had their attention, and I did. I still had their attention. But, baby, when I tell you they was pissed off at me about killing that character off, so it happens to all of us where you make a decision that you question yourself like, ooh, shit, I done pissed them off. You know what I mean? And I did. I really pissed off some people with that. Pissed them off. But it was worth it in the end. Trust me, it was worth it. But nothing like that. This is all... Oh, yes, it was just so wonderful all the way through. You're a liar. It's not. It was not wonderful all the way through. I didn't come in because I remember, see, back in the day when it first started coming on, my mom lives in a what we call a high rise, and it's an apartment building, and there's other family members of mine who actually live in that apartment building as well. They used to meet up over one cousin's house and watch the Have and Have Nots. Or they go to my mom's house and they be watching Have and Have Nots in the very beginning. I've walked out when it become, I'll be like, oh no, I tried that. And I'd be like, no, y'all got that. And I didn't come on until seasons later. I got hooked. But the show didn't hook me right in the beginning. It did not hook me in the beginning. So it has been an up and down, and it's not just been me that has been up and down. I hear what goes on in the street, and I know that Tyler hears what goes on in the street. So that was my question. Where's the real commentary? Well, I guess I just left some, didn't I? All right. So that's that. And I'll see y'all next week for part 2. Later.